Not only does Pear Deck offer the option to make slides interactive, it also has a really neat vocabulary feature called the Flashcard Factory. In order to run Flashcard Factory, you're going to go to peardeck.com and log in as a teacher. To create slides, you usually go from Google Slides, but from peardeck.com, it gives you the option to either 1, create a slides presentation, which will take you to Google Slides, or 2, create a vocabulary list to run the Flashcard Factory. Whenever you click Start Vocabulary List, the role of the teacher is actually pretty easy here. You're going to simply type in your terms. I'm going to go ahead and title this list as well, because I can either run the Flashcard Factory now, or I can save it and run it later. So maybe I want to put in polygon. I have the option to type in a definition or to have it auto-define. I'm going to add a few terms here. Right now I just have 3 simple math terms. I didn't define this word because I want us to take a peek at the option of not defining. Here in a little bit, the students will have the opportunity to illustrate the word and to use the word in a sentence. But if you want to, you can have the students define that word depending on the words that you're given. I would suggest running about 5 to 10, maybe 15 words. The game can get a little long if you do a bunch of vocabulary words. So I could get out of this and run it later, but for now, I'm going to push Play Flashcard Factory. It's going to give me the notification that I am missing some definitions, and that's actually on purpose, so I'm going to start game anyway. You will notice that this starts very much like Pear Deck with slides. So it's going to have students go to joinpd.com, which is the same link, and they're going to enter a join code, but this is all going to be in factory language, so they are going to clock in when they're ready. Okay, we're going to pause for a second to take a peek from the student view. This student has gone to joinpd.com and entered the unique code. They're going to be given their task for today. They're going to be working with a group to make flashcards. The teachers and classmates are going to vote on the cards, and the team with the most chosen cards is going to win the game. On the projector, you're going to see your students are put into 2 separate groups. So right now I only have 1 student, but they're going to be put into 2 separate groups. I do like the option of shuffling teams. If by chance you have a pair that you're not really a big fan of, you can click Shuffle Teams, and it will shuffle them around. So students will need to go find their partners. I like to make sure to leave this up and make sure the students know who their partner is before starting the game. And then you'll click Let's Play. You will notice that on the projector, you're going to have a real-time factory right here. Let's see what it looks like from the student's view. So from the student's view, they're going to be sitting next to their partner. This person's job is to illustrate a polygon. So they would need to draw a polygon in the white space here. Notice they've got different colors and a few different options here. They can use the line tool, and they can even add text. Then when they click I'm done drawing, their partner simultaneously will be either defining the word or using this in a sentence. So since we provided a definition, they'll be using it in a sentence, but if you want students to define the word, you can have this be the definition. You will notice this is going to say write an example of a polygon. So you can kind of, as the teacher, determine what you want this task to be. Okay, so when they both click that they're done, you'll see that it creates a unique flashcard. Obviously, this would be much better. They can edit if they need to, and then they say, looks good, ship it. And then it will give them the next term. What's really neat about this is all the unique flashcards will be falling onto the conveyor belt as partners create their cards. I can see I have examples for 1 of 3 terms. You can play the game until every team has been able to define every term, or you can just play until it says all of your terms have definitions. Whenever the creation phase is done, you're going to go to the next phase, which is quality control. This is really fun for your class because you get to sit as a class and look at the different definitions that have come through, and you can decide as the teacher whether to approve or to deny the definition. Since this is our only one, I'm going to approve it for now. If this was an actual class, I would probably not, since this drawing is not accurate. Okay, once you have decided whether you approve or deny, and note that you don't have to go through all the flashcards. If you approve 1 from every term and you're happy with that, then you can move on, just kind of based on the time of your class. So then when you're finished, you are going to print or export your set. And I highly recommend this step, although you can leave here. It's really neat to be able to have the sets for later. So you've got 2 options. Export to GimKit will allow your students to kind of practice these in a game-based style at another time. So I'll show both options here. The print is going to pull up all of your cards so that you can print them And it's really neat because these are actually the student-defined terms. So you could print those out and kind of have them as class flashcards, or you could even snip these and maybe put them in slides or something to refer back to later. The other option for exporting is to export to GimKit. So if I choose Export Set to GimKit, I'm going to go ahead and go to Set. And then I'm most likely going to run this as a teacher, but in order to do that, you need to make sure to log into GimKit using your Google account. It may ask you to sign up if this is your first time. Otherwise, you're going to go ahead and log in. Notice from here, you can click on the Play option, and you can get a game ready for students. So GimKit's kind of cool because it's very game-based. So you can see there's a lot of options to look into here. You've got by time, so I can say how long I want the students to run. There's a lot of different, they can use power-ups, things like that. So you can look at the settings here. Team mode means that students are working in teams. Classic means they are working individually. When all of the settings are correct, you're going to click on Continue. And then very much like Pear Deck, you will have students go to a link and you'll have them play the game. So it will it will show you when your students have joined. This is kind of like Kahoot or quizzes, but it's just really, really engaging, and another great way to practice those vocabulary terms. So even if you came back and did this later, it would be another review with the flashcards that they have created. Export the vocab list to GimKit or print the kit. Just remember that playing Flashcard Factory itself is a great way to practice definitions, and all the teacher needs to do to get started is create a vocab list.